Aladdin was a poor boy. He lived in a bustling city. He had only his mother. They had very little money.
I spend my days in the streets, playing with other children. We run and laugh, but deep down I long for a better life.
One day a stranger stopped Aladdin. The stranger was a sorcerer. He promised Aladdin riches beyond imagination. The sorcerer offered Aladdin a chance to change his fate. He told Aladdin of a magical lamp hidden in a cave. The sorcerer claimed he needed Aladdin's help to retrieve it. S1. Riches beyond imagination. I've heard tales of sorcerers and their magic.
A magical lamp? This could be my chance. All right, I'll help you.
The sorcerer led Aladdin through winding streets. They left the city behind. The sorcerer spoke of the lamp's power. He promised Aladdin a share of the riches. They traveled for many days.
We've been traveling for so long. When will we get there?
Finally, they reached a desolate mountain range. At the foot of a mountain, the sorcerer stopped. He pointed to a cave hidden amongst the rocks.
This is the Cave of Wonders. Inside, you will find the magical lamp.
The sorcerer gave Aladdin instructions. He handed him a magic ring. The ring would protect him, the sorcerer claimed. Aladdin felt a shiver of fear.
I'm not sure about this, but I have to help my mother.
The sorcerer uttered strange words. The mouth of the cave began to glow. With a rumble, it opened just enough for Aladdin to enter. Aladdin felt a sense of foreboding. He cautiously stepped inside the cave. The cave was dark and damp. Aladdin cautiously made his way deeper inside. The air was thick with the smell of dust and something else, something ancient and magical.
What is that smell? It feels like magic.
As Aladdin ventured further, the path opened into a vast cavern. The cavern glittered with gold and jewels. Treasures lay piled high all around. Aladdin had never imagined such wealth.
I've never seen so much gold and jewels in my life.
In the center of the cavern, on a stone pedestal, sat a simple oil lamp. It seemed out of place amongst the other riches. This must be the lamp the sorcerer sought. Aladdin reached for the lamp, but a voice boomed through the cavern.
Touch nothing but the lamp.
Fear gripped Aladdin's heart. He quickly snatched the lamp and ran back towards the entrance. Aladdin reached the entrance to the cave. The sorcerer was waiting.
Give me the lamp, boy.
What is your wish, master? Narrator. But Aladdin hesitated. He didn't trust the sorcerer. The sorcerer lunged for the lamp. In the struggle, Aladdin fell backward. He landed hard, the lamp tumbling from his grasp. As he fell, his hand brushed against the magic ring on his finger.
Suddenly a cloud of smoke filled the air. A booming voice echoed. Aladdin was terrified, but he was also quick-witted.
Get me out of here!
In an instant, he found himself back in his own home. The magic lamp clutched tightly in his hand. He was safe, but he was also a prisoner in his own city. The sorcerer had sealed the cave entrance. Aladdin examined the lamp. It was covered in dust and grime, but beneath it he could see intricate carvings. Curiosity overcame him. He began to rub the lamp, hoping to make it shine. As he rubbed, the lamp grew warm, and once more smoke began to billow out. This time the smoke formed a gigantic figure.
I am the genie of the lamp. What is your command, master?
Genie, I wish to be a prince, worthy of Princess Jasmine's love. Narrator. Aladdin was astonished. He thought for a moment. Riches would be nice, he thought, but what he truly desired was the love of the beautiful Princess Jasmine. Aladdin had only glimpsed Princess Jasmine in the marketplace. He had been captivated by her beauty and kindness. But a street urchin like him could never hope to even speak to a princess. Aladdin knew what his first wish must be. S4. Greetings, master. I am the genie of the lamp. You have released me from my prison. I grant you 3 wishes.
The genie smiled. With a snap of his fingers, Aladdin was dressed in fine clothes. A magnificent carriage pulled by white horses appeared beside him. Aladdin rode through the city streets in his grand carriage. He arrived at the palace gates, a confident and handsome prince. The guards, impressed by his attire, ushered him inside. Aladdin's heart pounded with excitement. His adventure was just beginning. Aladdin, disguised as a wealthy prince, charmed the Sultan and his court. He showered Princess Jasmine with gifts and told her tales of his imagined adventures. Jasmine was taken with Aladdin's kindness and humor, but she longed for a life beyond the palace walls. One night, as Aladdin and Jasmine were enjoying a moonlit ride on a magic carpet, they flew past Aladdin's old neighborhood. Jasmine was captivated by the bustling streets and the sense of freedom. She begged Aladdin to take her there.
These lamps are beautiful. What will you trade for this old one?
Meanwhile, the evil sorcerer, disguised as a peddler, roamed the streets below. He held aloft a tray of shiny new lamps.
New lamps for old, new lamps for old.
The sorcerer had a plan to trick Aladdin and steal the magic lamp. The sorcerer's cries reached Jasmine in the air. She was intrigued by the beautiful lamps on his tray. She asked Aladdin to take her closer. Aladdin, wary of the peddler, reluctantly agreed. They landed the magic carpet and Jasmine approached the peddler.
These lamps are beautiful. What will you trade for this old one?
She held out Aladdin's lamp. Aladdin tried to stop her, but it was too late. The sorcerer snatched the lamp and laughed. With a flash of light and a puff of smoke, the sorcerer vanished, taking Jasmine and the magic lamp with him. Aladdin was devastated. He had lost the princess he loved and the source of his good fortune. But Aladdin was not one to give up hope. Aladdin remembered the magic ring the sorcerer had given him. He rubbed the ring, hoping for a miracle. A different genie appeared. This genie was not as powerful as the genie of the lamp, but he was still bound to grant Aladdin's wishes. S3, ha ha ha!
What is your wish, master?
Take me to Princess Jasmine.
The ring genie snapped his fingers, and instantly Aladdin found himself transported to a dark and desolate land. Aladdin found Jasmine imprisoned in the sorcerer's fortress. The sorcerer had used the genie of the lamp to create a palace of his own. It was a dark and twisted reflection of the Sultan's grand palace. Aladdin knew he had to be clever. He couldn't defeat the sorcerer in a battle of magic. He needed to outsmart him. Aladdin devised a plan to rescue Jasmine and reclaim the magic lamp. Aladdin crept through the shadows of the sorcerer's fortress. He knew he had only one wish left on the magic ring. He had to use it wisely. Aladdin made his way to where he knew the sorcerer was keeping the lamp. He peeked into the room and saw the lamp resting on a table. The sorcerer was distracted, boasting to Jasmine about his power. This was his chance.
I wish to be right beside Princess Jasmine.
In an instant, Aladdin stood beside Jasmine. The sorcerer whirled around, his eyes blazing with anger. A fierce battle ensued. The sorcerer hurled fireballs and bolts of lightning. Aladdin dodged and weaved, using his quick wit and agility to avoid the sorcerer's attacks. He knew he couldn't defeat the sorcerer with magic, but he could distract him long enough to get the lamp. In the chaos, Aladdin saw his opportunity. He lunged for the lamp, snatching it from the table. The sorcerer turned to stop him, but it was too late. Aladdin held the lamp aloft. Aladdin rubbed the lamp. The genie of the lamp appeared, his booming voice echoing through the chamber.
You have freed me once more, master. What is your wish?
Genie, I wish for this sorcerer to be stripped of his magic and returned to where he came from.
The genie nodded. With a snap of his fingers, the sorcerer was gone. The fortress crumbled around them. The genie of the lamp transported Aladdin, Jasmine, and the magic carpet back to the Sultan's palace. They landed safely in the palace gardens. The Sultan was overjoyed to have his daughter back. He saw the love between Aladdin and Jasmine. He realized that Aladdin, though once a poor street urchin, was a true prince at heart. The Sultan gave his blessing for Aladdin and Jasmine to be married. Aladdin used his last wish to ensure that he and Jasmine could always be together. He wished for a life filled with love, laughter, and adventure. Aladdin and Jasmine were married in a grand ceremony. The whole city celebrated. Aladdin, the once poor boy, was now a beloved prince. He had faced danger and deception, but in the end it was his kindness, courage, and quick thinking that had saved the day. And so Aladdin and Jasmine lived happily ever after, proving that even the most ordinary of us can achieve extraordinary things with a little bit of luck and a lot of heart. For it is not the magic of lamps or rings that truly changes our destiny, but the magic we carry within ourselves.